Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Zurni Rizkyati. Now I want to tell you about the origin of Kelesap. Kelesap is a Madura's son descended from Prince Sosrodiningrat or Prince Cokrodiningrat III or Prince Cakraningrat III with a concubine wife. This character often appears in Madura's folklore. Early life. At one time, Kelesap was told by his mother who his father really was. As a young man, he felt upset and tried to come forward with his various skills. Young Kelesap had a habit of meditating on mountains and in secret graves. At one time, he meditated on Mount Geger in Bangkalan for quite a long time, until after his meditation he had several kinds of skills, and especially his skills as a shaman to cure various diseases suffered by people. The king of Bangkalan, Surodiningrat or Prince Cokrodiningrat IV or Prince Cakraningrat IV, heard about this. He was then summoned and allowed to live in Bangkalan and was rewarded with a house in Pejagan village. And the king also allowed him to practice as a shaman. As a shaman, he did not hesitate to give various medicine to anyone who was suffering from illness. Despite this honor, Kelesap was still not satisfied because he felt that he was often watched by the king. Meanwhile, Kelesap himself had an ulterior motive, namely his ambition to hold the government throughout Madura. Therefore, Kelesap left the city of Bangkalan by heading eastward, and finally he arrived at the cave of Mount Pacutan in the Kulu area. And it was in the cave that he meditated for several years. It is said that Kelesap had a machete named Kodi Cerangcan, which could be told to run amok on its own without anyone holding it. Because of his supernatural powers, he became increasingly known throughout Madura. Rebellion. Finally, Kelesap felt sure of himself that he was capable enough to ignite the fire of rebellion. His expertise and fame brought a lot of sympathy to the people, so that when he came down from his hermitage on Mount Pacutan and he began to be able to conquer the village he came to. With the help of his followers, Kelesap, commanded by his warlord named Raden Buka, began to attack the Sumenep kingdom in 1749 until 1719. Battles were fought everywhere, and soon Sumenep was occupied. Kanjeng Pangeran Aryo Cokronegoro IV, or Raden Alza, or King of Sumenep, as King of Sumenep, felt very scared, and fled with his family to Surabaya and reported the rebellion to the Dutch Company VOC in Surabaya. After the Sumenep Palace was occupied, Kelesap placed Raden Buka as King of Sumenep. Kelesap then headed to Pamekasan via the southern route of Bluto, Prenduan, Kadwara, and so on. Wherever he passed through, he was always welcomed by the people with sympathy, and the people continued to join themselves as rebel troops. Pamekasan could also be easily defeated because at the time the king of Pamekasan, Tumenggung Aryo Adikoro IV or R. Ismail, was not there because he was traveling to Semarang. Raden Adikoro IV was none other than the son-in-law of Cakraningrat V, who reigned in Bangkalan. When Adikoro IV returned from Semarang and stopped over in Bangkalan, he then heard from his father-in-law that Kelesap was rebelling. After hearing the news, Adikoro IV asked his father to go to war against Kelesap. He was very angry because he talked about the fate of the people of Pamekasan, who were currently in turmoil because their leader was left behind. Accompanied by his loyal followers, Adikoro 4 continued to Sampang. In the city, he stopped to rest for a while. At lunchtime came a messenger of Kelesap with a letter challenging him to war. Adikorofor was very angry and immediately did not eat his rice. Instead, he continued to stand and ask the crowd who was able to follow him to fight with Kelesap. Penghulu Bagandan did not agree to leave immediately because it was unlucky day and advised to leave the next day. But Adikoro could not wait another night, so he asked again who would be willing to die with him. Penghulu Bagandan replied that he was the first to be willing to die with his leader. So without further delay, Adikoro set off, followed by Penghulu Bagandan and his retinue to Pamekasan. Adikorofor and his troops went on such a rampage that the enemy was repulsed all the way to Pagentenan in the Pamekasan area. But because the number of Adikoro's troops was very small and he himself was very tired, it was not long before his stomach was hit by a gun until his intestines came out, but his spirit was not extinguished. By wrapping the stalk of his intestines around the shaft of his crease, he continued to rampage with his spear. Apparently, he ran out of strength too, and continued to fall in death. Similarly, Penghulu Bagandan died on the battlefield with Adikorofor. After Adikorofor was defeated, Kelesap and his troops continued to Bangkalan. At that time, Bangkalan was ruled by Raden Adipati Sejo Adiningrat I, or Panembahan Cokrodiningrat V, or Prince Cakraningrat V. In Bangkalan, a great battle began, because Cakraningrat V's troops organized quick fierce resistance, but over time the Bangkalan troops were beaten back, and when Dutch company assistance was brought in from Surabaya, the battle continued to flare up again. The assistance from the Dutch company could not survive and was forced to retreat as well. Feeling almost defeated, Cakraningrat V finally fled to the Malaja area, while the fort was still defeated by the Dutch company or VOC troops. And at the time, Kelesap made Pasanggerahan in Toncung village. Bangkalan. One night, Cakraningrat V dreamed that Kelesap was sent a woman and told to hold a white flag, which means that Bangkalan would surrender. The trick was carried the next day by a woman who was given police clothes and told to hold a white flag and continue to be sent to Kelesap. Kelesap accepted the gift and the woman was taken to his Pasanggerahan in the belief that Bangkalan has surrendered. As Cakraningrat V wanted to for Kelesap reaction by sending him a woman holding a white flag, he suddenly saw Bangkalan's heirloom spear, Ki Nenggolo, trembling and glowing as if it were emitting fire. Cakraningrat V got up from his seat and immediately took the spear. He then invited his troops to go to war to suppress Kelesap rebellion. Arriving at Toncung village, Kelesap was very surprised because Cakraningrat V came to attack. Suddenly, with not waiting time, Cakraningrat V went to the rebel leader and stuck his spear. At that moment, Kelesap died. Bangkalan people who followed their king exclaimed Bengkahlaan, which means he is dead. Therefore, some Maduras say that the name Bangkalan comes from that sentence. This story about Kelesap. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.